So I'm really excited to welcome Mike Shaw, who's Director of International Advertising Sales at Roku, and Laura Chaibi, who's Director of International Ad Marketing and Insights from Roku, to the stage. Please put your hands together for Mike and Laura.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear us? Can you hear Mike?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic.
Okay, introductions. My name's Mike, and I have a confession to make. I'm a Swiftie. So, let's get this out of the way. If we're about to talk about the new era for connected TV, but if there's an era that we're all living in right now, it's Taylor Swift's. It's the biggest tour that's ever happened, more than $1 billion. And it one of the places it launched when Disney Plus started covering their version of the show based on the concerts was on the Roku homepage. So our job today is going to be able to talk you through the theory, Laura, the clever piece, the practice, me, the dull ad sales piece, of what connected television platforms look like. And the goal in all of this, as we think about the title of the overall topic, the future of brands, is this democratization of television. More and more people can now be on the big screen. Streaming's been part of that. Sky and AdSmart were a very early version of all of this. This number of people who've got the opportunity to do it has been growing ever since kind of technology really got involved with TV. And we're going to talk through what that next evolution looks like. So we start with this idea of Taylor on her homepage, and as the Roku City, and Ben actually will come back to one of the points Ben mentioned, but this idea of fandom and experiences and new ways of engaging consumers, the idea to have the Taylor Swift tour bus, the Taylor Swift stadium piece within a Roku fan environment is just a new part of the creative canvas that connected TV gives you. And there's a Roku television for anybody who can name the 3 cats for Taylor Swift that feature in there. No Googling. I don't think there's internet access unless you manage to log on to Wi-Fi. But if you can do it by the end of this presentation, Roku TV in it for you.
Come see Mike. Okay, but we're going to actually show you what's going on in the connected TV world with Roku. Play, Maestro.
Okay.
There's a lot of exciting things happening on one of the most important screens in the living room. And what we're seeing is there's probably a lot of brands in this room right now that might be all shapes and sizes. And when you think on the path to fame, some of you might be very small startups. And when you move from startup, you then have to move into scale ups. Some of you are then, you're used to performance metrics. You want to do a bit of a programmatic inventory. And then as you move forward, you might want to actually really start to understand your audiences, audience segmentation, pen portraits, personas, and trying to reach that target audiences has been really historically hard once digital advertising came into place because digital divides. It's brilliant for fame building, and it's perfect for census demand harvesting opportunities. But I think we, in the measurement world, we haven't really helped brands with measuring middle-sized categories, infrequent purchases. This is a real challenge, and we hope with connected TV advertising, we're going to try and help solve that, and we're going to come on to talk about how. But before that, Mike's going to show what did the fame look like on Roku.
So if this year's all about Taylor, last year was all about Barbie. Everybody's got Barbie stories in media. The awareness of this was astronomical. I want to show you just what this looks like as a canvas for the connected TV operating systems, which increasingly are the starting point for people's TV journey. If you think it's the new version of the EPG.
Play Maestro.
And this is now something that you'll hear from all of the OS manufacturers. I think there was a Samsung session on it earlier. There's a recently really good LG piece out on it as well, all about the way that consumers work. So when Barbie came out, one of the opportunities as the film launches is to start putting this in front of people, irrespective of what channels or what genres of content people are going to watch next from the home screen itself. To Ben's point about the fan experience, within Barbie, yes, you have the billboards, etc., but actually part of people's childhoods, if they were into that, is the Barbie house. And you can actually build one inside the Roku environment. And so Barbie fans, again, looking at the Barbie house, engaging with that, and as we go through, you start to see what does this fandom manifest itself as. And we can look at the social clues to pick up how Roku viewers are using what essentially was a screensaver environment as a whole new way of being immersed in some of their favorite content.
And yeah, and also the network effects. So for example, right now in Roku in the US, one moment on Roku's home screen can be equivalent to 200 Times Square moments. This is an unbelievable broad reach opportunity. And what we're really helping brands do is regain reach in opportunities where, you know, many of you are also going behind paywalls. You're probably maybe not seeing as many ads as you need to or want to. And we've also got a great case study we did with ITV, helping them regain reach that potentially they may not have had access to in any other way with Roku. So with Barbie, can you play, my friend? I wish I could. Barbie moved in to Roku City. Do we have sound? Can we turn it up? It's okay.
Everybody's seen the film, let alone the trailer. The point on here is so you've got this content environment being able to look at the trailer, you've got a scannable video environment then to be able to go through and do completions on it. And to Laura's point, this isn't just about kind of a brand like Barbie or a film like Barbie. ITV is a very established UK player who use this. We've recently just put out the case study numbers, and ITV, going through some of the very similar formats, doubled incremental viewing. Based on having some of these formats as a prominence point. Your prominence comes in many shapes and forms. There's a legislative piece going through with Ofcom, etc. right now, but actually smart TV platforms have an opportunity to generate that even for very established broadcast environments.
And while our ecosystem is obviously media and entertainment, for all of the brands in this room, you have these opportunities to do TV advertising. What the connected TV element brings into the ecosystem is this opportunity to reach unreachable audiences. Think of Roku as a city. It's like if you were to take an ad in Times Square, you might, for example, want to go into the Apple Store and maybe you couldn't have advertised in any other way to that audience. You're reaching them with a display touch point. It can be interactive. There are lots of different very cool things that are coming on, as you saw from the video earlier. And what we're seeing is that this is having really great brand effects. In fact, when you combine these different kinds of advertising opportunities, display and video together, we're seeing a 4x uplift on the impact. And this is our norms of over 300 campaigns that have run, having brand research also done on the campaigns with Kantar Millward Brown. And what we're seeing is that there's a tension in that, you know, a lot of campaigns, if you're a performance buyer, you may not buy, you know, on a frequency cap, but actually TV historically was not low frequency capping. So we have a lot of digital thinking coming into connected TV. And what we're seeing is you need almost up to 20 exposures to maximize the awareness of a brand, and around 10 to 14 exposures to maximize what we're seeing is a 38% purchase intent. What have we learned from this? Is that a lot of campaigns coming into connected TV environment, they're either performance campaigns or branding campaigns, and actually there's this messy middle that I was talking about earlier, which is the addressable campaigns, because measurement is still very early. It hasn't figured out how to combine these display and video capabilities together. And what we're finding is that in this middle, you'll have TV advertisers trying to come further down for incremental reach. We can support that now. And then you've got those startup brands moving into scale up who are trying to then come into addressable environments, but for them, they're looking for performance metrics. So this is where there's a little bit of a car crash going on. And equally, if you're a small brand trying to build a frequency cap of 20, it's probably unheard of in your business. And we have to help educate you, your board, your CFO. How do you move through the runway to try and scale up and also make major investments in the category entry points and communications? What we're seeing is we're making investments to help brands with shoppable advertising. And now back over to Mike.
So the starting point for all of this is people saying nobody's ever going to buy anything on their television. Fair, but we've heard this before. So the consumers won't buy online. That changed. People do. Consumers won't buy on their mobile. Wrong. People do. And TV is just the next evolution of it. Essentially, there's not very many screens you give a human that they don't go buy stuff on. So television's the next version of that. So our job is then to work out how do we create those advertising opportunities that are conducive to facilitating commerce, whilst being incredibly respectful of the consumer experience, the consumer journey, the viewing that they're actually there for as well. The television set, obviously, to Laura's point earlier about the automated content recognition, we have a huge amount of data at show level now around the context of what's being watched. That adds a huge signal for advertisers in terms of being able to put the right ads in front of people and new formats to be able to go deliver that. So when we look at some of the formats we're about to show, it's actually QR code is where we started. And when we now look at some of the OK2, the using the remote, essentially, people are more than 4x more likely to go convert through the OK2 mechanism, through using the remote, than they were through scanning the QR code. Some of that will be down to logistics, but it's really interesting that the form factor of the remote has moved beyond simple channel control. When we look at the formats that we're actually, we'll have a view through, just a walkthrough of one of these very shortly. But this idea of an OK to text, using the power of the platform where your mobile number is already part of the registration data within Roku to mean that codes can be essentially texted to you once you've interacted with that ad. The starting point is your number. If you want to change it, sure. But the starting point is there's no more data entry. The second piece about email, same thing. Your registration data is already in there. Location, knows where you are, and then this idea of checkout. And so by partnering with retail partners, we're actually being able to mean that people are able to use the home address payment mechanism that's already on file as a first-party data set that we've got in order for them to be able to check it out, have it shipped, it arrives the next day, they can go straight back into the viewing experience. So we're not needing to go build entire retail environments within the TV ecosystem. So let's have a look at what one of those looks like. US example, apologies. Wendy's, large quick serve restaurant, working with DoorDash as a delivery partner. Here you have something very front and center of the home screen. So as people are about to look at their evening's viewing experience, click on Wendy's ad, takes you into their environment and gives you this opportunity to, in this case, have an offer get texted to you. By clicking on the OK remote, you will then see the offer piece come through, pre-populated mobile phone number, which comes straight from your registration data. Hit OK, that text has been sent, immediately appears here, goes straight into the DoorDash application when you open it up again for fulfillment. And within a couple of minutes, you've been able to place your dinner order ahead of your evening viewing. So this is a really good integrated experience that works. There are other categories, and this is why we have this difference in terms of like where the location piece can go to, where the OK to checkout piece can go to. This wouldn't work necessarily for an automotive environment. It wouldn't work for some other different types of retail, which is why we continue to evolve the formats of just how we can help brands get people from awareness all the way through to this idea of either completion or far further down the funnel than television has ever been realistically able to do. And with that comes TV's ability to command more of the budget. The type of things that typically been disappearing off into Google, Facebook, TikTok, etc. environments beforehand, that data enablement and the format enablement we've got here means that TV can start reclaiming a lot more of that budget.
And coupons. But this is all well and good. I don't know about, I'm seeing lots of I call it wisdom in the room, people with 10, 15, 20 years experience. This is some of the cool stuff I have done across my career with ad format innovation, working for major international companies. I used to do the ad format testing at Yahoo over 15 years ago. We did really cool things. But what we don't want to do is turn our TVs into the internet or a failed version of it. And the most important thing to highlight here for brands in the room, where is this going? The new era is probably, there will be tension, there will be creative tension. You will want budgets to do the effective communications with your ads, and at the same time, you will probably need to justify every single pound, dollar, euro that you're putting in front of your business asking for advertising. We believe that this capability, it should be used, it shouldn't be used excessively, but it should be used to help educate your business on the reasons why you should justify having television on the plan. What we are seeing, though, is that according to Nielsen data, 5 years on, creativity is still roughly 50% of the effect of your advertising performance. And this is the justification that we want to make sure that you still all have in your hands to make decisions for your brands. So to get this right, we're testing advertising. And we're doing extensive testing on all the different kinds of potential innovative ways that you and consumers can interact with advertising. I'm working with System 1. We are taking brands on board now and starting to test the different capabilities, OK to text, OK to email, OK to locate, to see how do we get this right for brands and bring the best of digital and TV together for the new era of branding. And that's us, right on time. Thank you
very much.